Hello, my name's Jane Moore and I'm a professional gardener. But as it's British Flowers Week, I thought I would show you a few of my favourite flowers for both cutting and for the garden. Where better place to start than with roses? I absolutely adore roses. And although I find it a bit tricky cutting them for the vase because I love them so much in the garden, I do it occasionally. And some of the best ones for that are actually the repeat flowering roses. I've got one behind me. This is the Pilgrim, and this is one of my absolute all-time favourite roses because it's just such a good doer. I know what you're thinking, it's yellow. Not the easiest colour to use in the garden, is it? I quite like it in the spring, but in the sort of high summer, it's not the easiest colour. It doesn't always go with things, but this yellow does. There are yellows, and the Pilgrim is a good yellow. Let me show you. Look at that. Isn't that just lovely? See, it's more of a primrose yellow, almost a cream around the edges of the petals, and they're so clustered and lovely. And you may notice me boldly handling this rose because that is one of the other good things about it. It's not too prickly. My other half can't abide roses. Nasty prickly things, he says, but not so with the Pilgrim. It does have a few thorns, but really hardly any, and such a good doer, as I said. Let me show you another one of my favourite roses. This is Gertrude Jekyll, and isn't she a little beauty? It is just the perfect quintessential English rose, I think. Those lovely rose pink flowers, beautifully sort of sectioned and quartered, and the scent. Oh, it's lovely, really lovely. I wish we had smell-o-vision, but you'll just have to grow it yourselves and find out. I use Gertrude Jekyll because it is one of those perfect plants. It's the right height, the right shape, it's not too demanding, it's a really good doer again. And I use it as a little bit of a support mechanism for other things, particularly this. This is one of the Herbaceous Clematis. And you can cut this as well, actually, should you want to, because there are lots of flowers on it. But this is one of the Herbaceous Clematis, which doesn't mean that they don't sort of scramble and climb up things. It just means they're a bit shorter than climbing clematis. And this one's a real little beauty, as you can see, and it's scrambling up Gertrude Jekyll very happily. And another thing that's using it to clamber up is this, and I'm sure a lot of you will know this. This is Geranium Roseanne, one of my favourite geraniums. Again, such a vigorous plant and so floriferous. Honestly, it starts flowering in May, June, and just carries on right the way through till September or even October. But it will clamber up things a little bit if it's given an opportunity, and I have given it the opportunity with Gertrude Jekyll, which it's thoroughly enjoying. This is a bed of flowers that I've grown specifically for cutting, and these are Sweet Williams. They're a dianthus, so they're related to carnations and the pinks that you would grow in the garden. And they have that slightly sort of clovey scent, which is rather lovely as well. Look at the colours though, aren't they great? They just look fantastic in a vase on their own. You don't need anything else, and they are so easy to grow. They're biennial, so you sow the seed one year and the next year you get the flowers, which is great because it means you can sow some now for next year. In amongst them have, I should tell you that I've been cutting them for absolutely ages. They're actually starting to come towards a bit of an end now. I think by the end of June they'll probably be pretty much finished. But honestly, I've been cutting them for most of May, and so it's a good month or so, and I've had buckets of them, absolutely buckets full of them. I've been filling my vases at home like mad. So, but in amongst them have seeded a few other things. Don't you just love it when plants do that? And one of them is this. This is Nigella, or Love in a Mist, as it's known, partly because of these sort of bracts that you get around the flowers. Really very pretty indeed. A lot of flower arrangers I know actually prefer these seed heads for flower arranging because they are so structural and dramatic. Look at them, they are just great. And I really do love the way that Love in a Mist just seeds itself. Honestly, you only buy one packet of seed ever, because then it will just seed itself around your garden forever. One of the things you can't underestimate when you're arranging a vase of flowers is the importance of foliage, and you've got loads of it in your garden. I always augment things like just a shop bought bunch of flowers, a few freesias or what have you, with some foliage from the garden, because I've got plenty of it, and almost anything will do. But one of my favourite things to use is actually herbs, because you get that lovely scent, and this is one of my favourites. This is rosemary, of course, and of course it's got this lovely upright, strong structural sort of shape, and that lovely silvery green foliage as well. It just looks great, and you do get the scent in the house, which is fantastic. Another one of my favourites is this. Now this is marjoram. This is marjoram before it comes into flower, and look at the lovely fresh green of it. It's absolutely lovely. It's a lovely foliage plant. Of course, when it comes into flower, even better for flower arranging, because it has those lovely soft pink, almost sort of powder puffy flowers on the top. Brilliant plant for the garden for bees and butterflies, but also, and of course for cooking with too, but also great for flower arranging.